Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to being, well, genuinely well-informed,
We sift through the sources, pull out the key insights, add some context.
and hopefully keep you engaged along the way. Today, we're diving into a watch that just screams high seas and luxury, the Edox Grand Ocean Chronograph.
Mm-hmm.
Our source is a really detailed review that gets into all the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, it really breaks it down.
So our mission today, explore what makes this watch tick, how it embodies this very specific lifestyle, and the design choices behind it all. We want to pull out those surprising details from the review.
Sounds good. It's a great case study in brand identity through design.
Okay, let's unpack this. Edoxies, they've always had this really clear connection to water, right? Water sports sponsorships.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Absolutely. It's baked into their DNA, you could say. Their designs often reflect that.
But this new Grand Ocean line, there's this chronograph and a power reserve model. It feels like a bit of a shift, doesn't it?
It really does. It seems like they're moving towards something maybe more sophisticated, less like their usual rugged tool watches. It's aiming for a different feel.
Definitely. And the vibe the review picks up on for this chronograph is pure yacht life, like peak 1990s aspirational wealth.
Yeah. The review even jokes about it being for littoral cruising only. Basically, don't stray too far from the coast.
So how does it nail that vibe so quickly? What did the review say about that initial impression?
Well, it's fascinating how immediately it signals that lifestyle. The reviewer noted it felt almost like a time gone by, a style maybe you don't see as much anymore.
Right.
And it's not just the specs, like the 300-meter water resistance, which, let's be honest.
Yeah, who needs that on a chrono for yachting?
Exactly. It's more the whole package, the rubber strap, that very distinct crenellated bezel, the notches like on a castle wall. It has that old ship aesthetic,
Okay.
plus the name Grand Ocean. It all just works together to paint that picture immediately.
And grand definitely applies to the size. This thing is substantial.
Oh, yeah.
What are the specs? 140 grams, 43 millimeters wide, and 16.4 millimeters thick. That's chunky. The review said it asserts its dominance.
It does. But here's the interesting part. It apparently wears much better than those numbers suggest.
Really? How? Big watches can be awkward.
Totally. But the review calls it a great lesson in lug strap design. It comes down to these unique triple horn lugs.
Triple horn, okay.
Yeah, they continue the case lines really nicely and have this generous curve downwards. That plus the form-fitted rubber strap that follows that curve. It just makes the whole thing drape around the wrist surprisingly well.
Huh. So clever engineering makes the heft manageable.
Pretty much. It's a good example of how thoughtful design can tackle a potentially difficult form factor.
And it's got other features reinforcing that aquatic theme, right? Screw-down crown, the pump cushers.
Yep, screw-down crown for the water resistance, nicely functional pump-style pushers for the chrono. The ends even match the bezel finish.
Cohesive.
Exactly. And it's all under a domed sapphire crystal. It really commits to the look.
Okay, so beyond the size and the smart lugs, you've got choices in how it looks. Case options: stainless steel, pink gold PVD, and a steel and black PVD mix. Did the review have a favorite?
Well, they found the black PVD version particularly interesting. PVD, by the way, is that coating method, physical vapor deposition.
Right, gives it color and durability.
Exactly. And unlike the other two, which have straightforward polished and brushed finishes, the black PVD one manages this subtle two-tone thing. It uses polished black PVD and polished and brushed gunmetal PVD.
Oh, okay. So more complex than just black.
Yeah, the reviewer felt it made it more captivating, less overtly rugged than a lot of black PVD watches, gave it a bit more of a luxury edge.
Interesting. Now, the dial. The review called it somewhat run-of-the-mill, but still upmarket. What's going on there?
Well, it's a fairly standard layout. 2 registers for the chronograph, 30 minutes and 12 hours. You've got a slope tachymeter ring around the edge.
For measuring speed.
Right. And there's this azurage finish, that fine circular pattern on the hour ring and the subdials. Adds a bit of texture and depth.
Okay. Sounds pretty standard luxury chrono fare.
It is, but there's a catch, especially with that black PVD version we just talked about.
Oh.
The applied hour markers on that one have a blee PVD finish. And the reviewer, well, they weren't keen. Found it looked a bit chintzy, was the phrase used.
Chintzy. Ouch.
Yeah, like maybe a bit cheap looking. And crucially, it made the markers hard to read against the black dial. Low contrast.
So legibility takes a hit for style.
Exactly. And that brings up that question. How much do you sacrifice legibility for a specific aesthetic choice? It's why the reviewer felt the silver dial version actually wins out.
Because it captured the vibe without the readability issue.
Precisely. It felt more like that buoyant luxury yachting thing Edox seemed to be going for.
Gotcha. Now, another detail, no running seconds hand.
Correct. Just the chronograph seconds.
The reviewer didn't mind that. Apparently, being on a yacht makes you less concerned with ticking seconds.
Huh. Fair enough.
But it did raise the question of why only a date window? Sellita makes that movement, the SW500, with a day-date option.
Yeah, that's a good point. Seems like a missed opportunity, maybe, if the movement supports it.
Okay, now here's something the review really honed in on. The Lume.
Ah, yes, the Lume, or lack thereof.
Described as scant slivers and minuscule dots. Basically bare minimum glow that fades super fast.
The reviewer had a pretty strong take on this.
Which was?
Essentially, if you're going to bother putting Lume on a watch, you should commit to it. Go all the way.
Makes sense. Don't have to it.
Right. They drew a parallel to brands that just slap a date window on without integrating it nicely. But interestingly, Edox didn't do that here with the date. No, the review actually praised the date window, said it was nicely beveled, well-placed, and the date change itself has a satisfying tactile click.
So they can sweat the details, which makes the weak Lume even more curious, right?
Exactly. It suggests a very deliberate choice, maybe prioritizing that daytime luxury aesthetic over any real low-light function.
Okay, let's flip it over. The case back sounds unique. A metal compass rose over a sapphire window.
Yeah, it's distinctive. You still get a peek at the movement underneath.
But here's the kicker. The review says if you wear it tight, that metal compass rose leaves an imprint on your wrist.
It does. Apparently it doesn't hurt or anything, but you definitely get a little compass rose mark when you take it off.
Wow. What was the reviewer's reaction to that?
More of an amused smirk, apparently. Whereas their kids thought it was amazing.
Huh. That tells you something about design perception, doesn't it? What one person finds quirky, another finds cool.
Absolutely. It shows how these little unique elements create different interactions and impressions.
And speaking of what's inside, the movement is the Edox caliber 089.
Right, and credit to Edox, they're upfront that it's a rebadged Sellita SW500 BV, a Swiss automatic workhorse.
Any word on performance? Edox doesn't give specs, apparently.
No, but the review assumes it's the elaborate grade, which is a step up from standard. For a Sellita, that typically means decent accuracy, around ±5 seconds a day, and a solid power reserve, probably around 62 hours, runs at 28,800 vibrations per hour, so reliable stuff.
Okay, so we've gone through the design, the details, the quirks. What was the final verdict? Did the reviewer come around to the whole yacht life thing? Because they started with a bit of an eye roll, right?
They did. The initial feeling was maybe it was a bit dated, evoking that ask me about my boat kind of vibe.
Yeah, I can picture that.
But surprisingly, yes. They said the watches, particularly the blue dial and that pink gold PVD two-tone, really grew on me.
Why the change of heart?
It seems it came down to authenticity. The pink gold PVD version felt like the truest manifestation of what Edox was trying to achieve. It fully committed to that specific luxury aesthetic.
Even if you don't actually own a yacht.
Exactly. It showed how effectively the watch sold that aspirational identity. Even elements that seem practically unnecessary, like the extreme water resistance for a chrono.
Become part of the story, part of the perceived value.
Precisely. They're crucial for capturing that intended lifestyle feeling, even if you never actually live it.
Fascinating. And the cost for entry into this aspirational world?
The pricing mentioned was $3,490 USD for the stainless steel model.
Okay.
And a bit more, $3,590 USD for either the pink PVD or the black PVD version.
Right. So this whole deep dive really highlights how looking closely at the details, the lugs, the lume, the case back indent, tells you so much about the thinking behind a watch.
Absolutely. That vibe isn't just slapped on, it's built into the design choices, big and small.
It really makes you think.
And maybe that's the final thought for you, listening. How do everyday objects, like this watch, communicate aspirations and lifestyles that go way beyond just what they do?
Yeah. How much does that feeling, that vibe, shape how we see something, how much we desire it?
Even when some parts of it are, practically speaking, completely superfluous to our actual lives.
Something to mull over.